Welcome everyone to today's video. We're the Dimitrov-Boulay piano duo. My name is Dimitri Dimitrov.
And my name is Elvira Boulay.
And today, me and Elvira, we decided that we're going to talk to you about quality versus quantity. What would actually quality versus quantity mean? Well, let me give an example like this. You have two types of people. You have the types of people who play one and the same piece for a very long time, trying to accomplish a very high quality, trying to accomplish 100% good result out of this one piece. Well, there's also the other type of people, the second type of people who play a lot of different pieces. They're playing so many pieces that it is impossible to reach any kind of decent quality with each of the pieces they're playing.
And you'd probably expect that we're gonna tell you one of these is better, like for example, quality is better or no, quantity is better. But actually we're not gonna tell you that because we think both of these are not ideal. It's not ideal to play very few pieces, even if your quality is very high, but it's also not ideal to play a lot of pieces without any kind of polishing, without any type of quality. Like, why is it not good enough just to finish one or two pieces during the year on a very high level? It's because the piano literature has so many different things, so many pieces in so many different tonalities, so many different kinds of rhythm that you can do, so many different techniques that you need to read a lot of music, you need to play a lot of music in order to have a complete education, in order to have a complete, proper overview of what piano playing is like.
Yes, because the more different pieces you encounter, the different types of technique you develop and the better you become. But when you play a lot of pieces, for example, because we're just talking about playing a lot of pieces, if you play a lot of pieces and you don't practice them properly as well, you actually don't learn those different types of techniques in the right way. And that's why we wanted to, first of all, emphasize that it is important to play a lot of pieces, but it is also very important to find this perfect balance and do them well. And that's why we decided to record this video, because we believe that actually the two versions aren't ideal for you. There is a middle ground, there is an approach that can be much better for you, and we thought we'd shoot this video and help you out. Now, is there actually an ideal way of playing, practicing, and preparing pieces? I would say that I don't know what exactly would be ideal, but there is a very good way of approaching different pieces and piano playing in general, piano practice in general, that's going to give you the best possible results, or at least much better than what we just mentioned, playing one piece for a very long time or playing too many pieces and never being able to reach any kind of decent level. And instead of calling this an ideal way of practicing, because I don't know what exactly is ideal, we'll call it having enough of both worlds. Well, how are you actually supposed to find a good balance? One of the first things you need to remember is that you need to practice properly. If you don't practice properly, if your work when you sit behind a piano, if your work isn't good enough, you are never going to be able to find that middle ground, that balanced way of practice that gives you enough of both worlds, playing enough pieces, but also reaching a high quality for your own level.
And practicing properly also means that you would perfect your piece according to your own level. So not according to the YouTube recording that you heard, not according to your teacher, how he or she plays it, but according to what you can do. For example, if you are having just a few years of piano lessons and you want to play Chopin's First Etude, probably realize that you're not going to get it into the tempo that you heard Horowitz play it. So we've already given you two tips so whatever person you're inclined to be, whether you go more for quality or whether you go more for quantity, you can already use these tips, you can already use the proper practice, and you can already think about until what level can I even perfect it, and after that I should move on to the next piece. But we also wanted to give you a few tips for when you are more advanced, because when you're more advanced and you play more difficult pieces, like for example, you want to play the Waldstein Sonata by Beethoven. If I want to play that, I'm going to estimate that I'm going to be busy with that between 6 months and a year. And that's not bad, that's not wrong, you know? I just need to have a strategy so that I can work on that piece and at the same time still work on some other pieces, still read through some other pieces so that I don't get only quality, that I get enough quantity as well. Now, before I touch on those tips, I just wanted to give you one quick other little tip. Because we're talking here about quantity, we're talking here about quality, and I think one of the first things that you can do in order to make sure that you're going to get a good balance between the two is, first of all, just kind of find out what kind of person you are, and second of all, write down when you're starting a new piece. In that way, because probably if I ask you now, how long are you busy with the piece you're learning at the moment? Probably you wouldn't be able to give me a precise answer. And I think that the way to remedy that, the way to actually already start being conscious, are you doing enough pieces in the year, is just to write down when you're starting.
And what do you mean by what kind of person they are?
So are they like somebody who goes more for quality, or are they somebody who goes more for quantity? So for myself, I'm more
You mean that's very important for them to determine, first of all? Then?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
So just being conscious. I, for example, think that I'm more of a quality person. So my weakness would be that I would play too few pieces probably during the year.
Exactly.
What are you actually doing, think?
I also like to strive for quality. I tend to go towards that, in that direction. But that's good that you mention it, because maybe some of you even didn't realize. Some of them maybe don't even realize where they are. Are they actually playing a lot of pieces or very few
I think
pieces?
so. Or even realize how long you're actually busy with a piece. Maybe you're already busy for 6 months with a piece and you don't even realize that you've been busy for such a long time.
Maybe write the date in the corner of the sheet music. Just put the date when you started the piece, and then you will actually know a little bit. You don't even need to change your habits right away. It would be great if you can, but it takes time. So perhaps writing this down in the corner of your sheet music, or
in your practice diary,
if you have one.
You should have one.
Yeah. Another tip would be, for example, if you're a little bit more advanced and you're playing more difficult pieces that take longer, a very simple thing you can do is just combine your practice with Prima Vista. Go through a lot of pieces, read a lot of pieces before you start practicing, or at the end of your practice. It doesn't matter where you put it, but if you have Prima Vista on a regular basis, you're going to familiarize yourself with a lot of different other pieces, and in this way you enrich your vocabulary, so to speak.
Another tip for more advanced students would be to stop a piece after a certain amount of time. For example, I'll mention again, if I practice the Waldstein Sonata by Beethoven, I would say after maximum 6 months, no matter what the level is at, I have to give it a break. And that's why, again, it's important that you are precise, you write down when are you starting.
Yeah.
Because, no matter what level I'm at that moment, sometimes you're stuck and you kind of need this break. You need a little vacation from the piece. So I would say, just break it off at a certain amount of time, have a deadline in mind before you start a piece even, or a few weeks after you start a piece, once you get to know what is difficult, how difficult it is for you, and give it a little break and pick it up again after 3 months or so, and then finish it off.
Because that doesn't necessarily solve your problem of being able to play a lot of pieces, but actually it breaks the bad habit of sticking to one and the same piece for too long time.
I think so.
You become a little bit more aware, you give it a break, you say to yourself, okay, I'm conscious, I'm aware that I'm playing one and the same piece, it's time to learn something new, I go back to that piece later on. So that's...
And I think in the name of quality, because I do think you have to have the habit of quality if you want to be a good pianist, no matter amateur or professional, you have to always strive for quality.
Yes.
In the name of quality, pick it up back again. Pick it back up. Don't leave it. Don't keep on leaving pieces.
Because if you leave it for too long also, it's going to drop in your skills. You're not going to feel any more connected to the piece, so it's going to take even longer then. This is perhaps what I'm going to tell you now is perhaps my favorite, I think, combination when you're looking for quality and quantity at the same time. Basically combine difficult pieces with simple pieces. I mean, I like everything that we mentioned till now, and everything works, what we mentioned till now, but this, if you really want to actually have quality and quantity together, is really to choose pieces that are a little bit challenging for you. Not too challenging, but you need some challenge. That's great. That's going to take a little longer. But you need pieces also that are at your level, or even a little bit below the level you've reached already. In this way, you'll be able to go through several pieces while you're actually working on some more challenging for a longer period of time. So for me, this tip is actually perhaps my favorite, because I really think it's going to give you that perfect balance. And if you have trouble actually figuring out how to manage everything, how to manage the pieces, and you can't even figure out if it's too difficult or if it's too easy. Listen, it's a very simple rule actually that you can follow. If there is a piece that's taking extremely long and you're not getting anywhere and you're struggling and it's difficult and you're practicing even properly, that means most likely that this piece is too difficult for you. That's why very often you would need also a teacher in order to discuss together what's too difficult, because maybe it's difficult for you to figure out alone. But if you are practicing alone and if you don't have a teacher, I think this would be a very, very useful tip. If it's taking just too long and you're getting nowhere, most likely the piece is too difficult for you.
And I think the fastest route to get to that piece that you do like to play, even though it's too difficult at a time, is to stop it, play some easier pieces, finish them with great quality, and then you'll see you'll improve. You'll improve quickly and you'll get there.
Absolutely. Don't try to run before you can walk.
So I think in conclusion, maybe this video can make you aware of what type of person you are. Are you somebody that goes more for quality, or are you somebody that goes more for quantity? And according to what type of person you are, maybe you can balance something better in your practice. If you're more of a quality type person like we are, you can put more prima vista, introduce more prima vista in your practice, or take some easier piece that you can learn more quickly to combine with your more challenging pieces that take longer. And if you're somebody that goes more for quantity, maybe be aware and try to practice more properly. Try to have
or just one piece that you're determined to.
I like that. Yeah.
To really bring up to a good level, like just one, and stick to it for a little longer time.
Very nice, yes. Or maybe have an end goal in mind, like make a recording of yourself so that you can really listen to see if you achieve this quality. So according to what type of person you are, maybe just kind of try to balance it out a little bit. And I think you'll get great results.
And the best results you can get is if you're watching our videos. So subscribe, follow our YouTube channel, follow our Instagram, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.